We're going to take a look at campus carry and talk to the authors of the bill about where it's headed next as Sine Die approaches. I'm Bill Nygut. Lawmakers starts right now. Let me introduce now our guests. Representative Mandy Ballinger is with us. She's a Republican from Canton, Georgia. And Representative Rick Jaspers, who's from where else? Jasper, Georgia. He too is a Republican. Thank you both for being here. Let's talk about a measure that you both know a great deal about, and that's campus carry. And if you don't mind, let me just recap what we've gone through with that measure. This has been your baby for a couple of years now, Representative Jaspers. Representative Ballinger, you got very involved in this measure this year. You passed it pretty easily in the House. It went over to the Senate last Friday. There was heated debate over there, but at the end of a Friday afternoon, oh my gosh, they debated for an awfully long time, and they passed the bill. The governor had, I think it's right to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, given some indication that he'd looked at this measure and felt it was a pretty good one and he could sign it. Is that a fair statement, that he felt that way?
I think there had been supportive statements from the governor. That was kind of the way that I had interpreted it. Certainly we had gotten no tacit agreement or anything like that from the executive branch, but there had been supportive statements made. Okay.
So then were you caught off guard, speaking of being caught off guard, when the other day the governor issued a statement saying, not so fast, I think we need to look at some changes in this bill. Were you surprised by that?
Oh, certainly you're surprised because, you know, this bill has been under great debate since January. I mean, everybody's known we're going to drop it, we're going to work on it. It's the year before that, probably 4 years for me. And with plenty of opportunity through committee meetings and just standing in the hallway and the emails and just the communication we've all had with the communities of everyone, that it just kind of came out of the blue to us. But I think, but we addressed those issues, I think, in that bill.
Well, do you think the governor just didn't read the bill carefully enough?
Well, I just think his interpretation of it may be a little different.
So let's go over what he specifically objected to and let you answer it. Maybe he's watching. Number one, he said he's a little concerned about the ability of individuals with carry permits to take guns into daycare facilities that are being operated on college university campuses, right? Yep. Number two, he said he was concerned about high school students who matriculate, who are taking college classes, and whether they're protected in this way against some kind of problem with weapons. And then he said he thought, and this one I thought was much more of a sticky point, he said maybe college administrators, university administrators should have a little bit more flexibility in essentially how they would implement campus carry in some very specific situations. Did I get that right?
Well, I think you were right on the daycare. Yeah. There was a specific concern voiced about that. However, there's no provision right now that allows for any daycare. So if you go to the daycare center around the corner, if it's not on a college campus, you can carry your weapon in there if you're a Georgia weapons carry license permit holder. So I don't know why we would want to segregate daycares specifically that are on college campuses.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure about that. As far as the dual enrollment, it's called the Campus Safety Act for a reason. We believe that Georgians, good Georgians, over 21, have the right to defend themselves. And I think that the ultimate goal of this bill is to make college campuses safer. HB 859 achieves that goal. So I would have no problem whatsoever, although thankfully my son is not there yet, with my son going to, attending a school where Georgia weapons carry license permit holders were allowed to carry their firearm. I would have no problem with that.
And Representative Jaspers, what about this third concern the governor raised, which seems to me to open a door you really don't want open, which is that in individual university settings, administrators might have some flexibility in how they implement campus carry.
Well, I think we would have a problem with that, and I think it's Governor Deal has been a great Second Amendment supporter. Signed every Second Amendment bill that the House and Senate has sent to him, and on this one, I think there's a lot of outside people trying to influence what's going on here. You saying they've been in the Capitol and everything, but I think my message to everyone listening is who we're talking about here. We're talking about Georgians who are over 21 that have had impeccable backgrounds. Their backgrounds are checked. They're fingerprinted. Their criminal background is looked at. And so they're good Georgians. And all these things that are coming up are limiting what good Georgians can do, and they choose to defend themselves. And University College, they have generally opposed this with great vigor. We had a letter a couple of years ago with every one of them signing it, say they didn't want it. Representative Ballinger and I have had emails from college professors who do want it. And so I think we've had just more of an ear to the ground, listening to what the public has to say on this issue than I think anybody else, and because we've lived it. And I think the people in the General Assembly know that us two have really dedicated this session to this, and with great expenditure of time.
So you ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work on a substitute that will accomplish what the governor would like it to?
Well, we can't do that now.
Well, we don't have any specifics. The governor hasn't communicated with us any specifics.
Well, you do have a general gun bill. I think that's essentially what it's called, right? There is a bill that you could, well, I guess you can't even take that up. I'm not quite sure where it stands in the process.
It's currently in Senate rules.
It is.
Hopefully
Okay.
it gets out of Senate rules on Tuesday and is heard either Tuesday afternoon or it would be Tuesday afternoon. So someone could offer an amendment, a senator could offer an amendment, and then that would put it, of course, I just have to see what it is. But
Okay.
we'd probably disagree and then be to a conference.
Okay, so we have to go to a break. So let me just ask you a concluding question about just this part of it. If there are no changes in this bill, are you under the impression it's possible that Governor Deal will veto it, and there goes all the work that you've devoted yourselves to this session? Do you think that's a realistic possibility?
I'm not sure. He hasn't communicated with us specifically about his concerns. The only thing we got was the press release that everybody else got.
Really?
And, and I don't think it is a loss. I think what we've done here with campus safety is we've had a great discussion about campus safety. We've talked a lot about it. I think we've made more people aware of what's going on and the rate of increase in crime on our campus.
But that sounds like a statement that suggests, well, if it doesn't get passed, if he doesn't sign it, we've accomplished a lot anyway.
Well, I think we have, but I can't affect that outcome, Bill.
Gotcha.
I really can't.
Okay,
And
fair enough.
I know that, hopefully I'll be reelected and be back here next year if it were, and you and I would be sitting right back
Good.
here on
You're always welcome, Representative Ballinger, Representative Jasper. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to watch Campus Carry in the days ahead. It's one of the big final items that we'll watch as we move towards Sine Die next Thursday night. So thanks for joining us tonight. That does it for day 38 of the 2016 session. We're down to 2 days until the gavel comes down on the session.